neighbouring Shabwa. This after the Saudi-led coalition, which backs the government, said it had killed 160 Houthi fighters in airstrikes. Priyanka Gupta reports.
In Yemen's 7-year civil war, the guns have rarely fallen silent. Now, a fierce battle for control is being waged in the northeast. Houthi rebels are fighting to capture Marib. The oil-rich province is the Yemeni government's last stronghold in the north. After weeks of siege and fighting, the Houthis say they're encircling and capturing more areas, including a strategic gateway to Marib city and parts of neighbouring Shabwa province.
The area is at 3,200 square kilometres. Hundreds of the mercenaries have been killed and wounded, including elements from Al-Qaeda and ISIL, and many weapons have been seized. The armed forces salute the role of the tribes of Marib and Shabwa and people of both provinces against the aggressors. The armed forces will continue the liberation of more territories.
Saudi-backed Yemeni government forces and their allied tribal fighters are pushing back, with dozens of airstrikes and a ground offensive in Marib.
There are infiltrations and penetrations made by the Houthi fighters in Al-Abdiya and in Latka Valley, but the ongoing resistance is still there as the war continues. These Houthi infiltrations and penetrations will soon come to an end.
For both sides, the control of Marib is critical, and where Yemen's war is likely to be decided.
It's basically the last northern stronghold that the Yemeni government has. So as far as they're concerned, they cannot afford to lose Marib, because that would mean that they're losing their footing in North Yemen. And should they hope to have a significant peace deal and actually allow for some level of a power share with the Houthi movement, they cannot afford to lose that region of Yemen, because that would mean essentially losing control over natural resources. That would allow for the Houthi to basically claim to have a completely independent northern Yemen.
Marib already hosts hundreds of thousands of displaced people from across Yemen. The UN says thousands more have been displaced by the fighting in the province in the last month. A siege by Houthis is stopping humanitarian aid and critical medical supplies from reaching those who need them. The UN is urging both sides to allow safe passage for civilians and aid workers. But so far, those calls have been ignored.